Well, Parker's down for a nap, and I thought I'd take this opportunity to get out in the yard a little bit and take a quick video of the gardens and some of the preparations we've been making, and just kind of an update. Here's the hops vine that unfortunately had a bit of a potassium deficiency according to what we've been able to research. You can kind of see they were going like gangbusters, and then, well, they turned a little bit brown, and so I fertilized it, and you can see how some of it's starting to come back now finally, but you know, they took quite a hit. So some of them out here, some of these are doing pretty good, and I'm looking forward to doing some brewing here in the fall when these are ready to go. As a matter of fact, on here, let me check some of these. I'll get one here, and if I can do this just right here, we'll cut one open and see what the lupulins look like. Hang on. Hope you can see that. There, you can kind of see the yellow in there. It's the lupulin. It's starting to smell like hops, but it's not. They get pastier and a little less pollenish as they get riper. So they're not quite ready yet, but they are getting close because they do smell fantastic. So that's the hops vine. We lost half of it or so. I don't even know if those are still good or not, but you know, some of them are kingers. I mean, look at these are the size of my thumb, for crying out loud. I mean, those are, so hopefully we don't lose all of them. But anyways, I built the arbor to grow those up on. I've got two different kinds. I'm not exactly sure what they are. Some are cascades and some of them are amarillos, I think. I don't know. But we're going to transplant some of those over to this side here and put some lattice on the side of the shed. This is just a flower garden. We've cleared a ton of trees off this side of the property and gotten the stumps taken out and regraded and stuff. So I'm going to plant some of them and have them grow up the side of the shed here for next year. And that way we've got more room for just one kind on the arbor. Now the rest of the raised gardens here along the fence, we've got some husk cherries, and some of them have come off and are ready, and there's some fennel and peppers, and this stuff kind of gets shaded out. There's one lone tomato plant in there. I kind of leave the gardens to Katie. She kind of does her thing. She enjoys it. There are some scary little carrots in there, and these are canning tomatoes. Some of them are getting really nice. I don't know what the name of them is, but they're kind of dry and kind of mealy, and they're not really good for, say, salads or whatever, but they hold up well in a canning situation, so that's why we've grown those. Some more peppers. This is kale here for fresh kale. There's my cherry tree. I don't know if I could eat the cherries or not, but some suckers on the bottom I've got to trim. On the outside, there's just a flower garden on the outside that's been in better shape, but I don't remember when. This is strawberries in here with some weeds, some rhubarb, some more tomatoes, obviously, some more fennel. We've pulled the garlic already this year. We had a bunch of garlic back in that front garden, and that came out okay. We managed to get it. Last year we waited too long and the paper was gone, but this year we got it in time and did okay with it. Just hard necks here where we are. It's too cold a climate for the soft necks. They do okay, but the wind blows and knocks them over, and they're pretty susceptible to you'd be lucky to, you'd have to have, I don't know, you'd have to brace them up or something to make sure they were good for the season. But these are cherry bushes. that we got as bare rootstock from the Gurney's catalog, and they've been doing pretty well here. You can see they're all kind of, I don't know if you can see it or not, but they're kind of leaning. It's called phototropic growth. We've got a canopy overhead, and they're kind of leaning out towards here to get to the sun. So they're kind of leaning out to get to the sun. This is what do we got in here? Cabbage or broccoli, or some lettuce. This is our asparagus here that we're letting go to seed. This is year 3, I think, for this year. This is the second year. Next year will be third year for that. So we'll be able to pull a ton of it out of there next year. We pulled a few out this year. It was outstanding. If you've never had asparagus fresh from the garden and you think you don't like asparagus, I would urge you to try asparagus just crisp and broken. You don't even have to cut it. It just breaks clean, and it's sweet and delicious. You should definitely try it. The rest here is all just flowers and stuff. That's a calmia. That's a mountain laurel. Some astilbe hostas, some fall Solomon seal, our back porch. Some lilacs, which smell nice and kind of block the propane tank. Some more hostas, forsythia, some daylilies, some ferns that we picked from around. I did some landscaping, so I've pulled some of these stuff from customers' houses when they wanted them cut down. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll even pull the stump. And I brought them back here and planted them. So that's where the lilacs and a lot of these daylilies and things came from. In the front of the house here, I've got mostly stuff that's perennial that dies back. It's non-woody, hostas and Solomon seal and ferns and stuff, because I've got a pretty steep roof that when the snow builds up in a single storm, it'll come down in a pounding fashion and really beats up. I've had woody stuff planted out here before and it just does not do well. It gets beat up. So this stuff dies back in the spring, and back in the fall we cut it back, and we don't have to worry about it coming back up in the springtime, because it's usually the first thing to tip up little purple shoots in the springtime, those hostas. So the back of the house is, we've been test painting stuff. The previous owners had tinted primer, that's why it's purple, but whatever. We're trying out some other colors. I've got the boys' swing set all put together here. Some wood chips left over from the brush piles that we had taken about 30 trees down here between the side yard and the backyard. You can see the stump pile is there. We're waiting for those to dry out and wash off a little bit, and then we're going to truck those off and those will be chipped up. Of course they still charge to get rid of them, but they'll chip them up into mulch and they'll get recycled, and that'll be nice. There's another pile of wood chips that my brother-in-law and I made. We had giant piles of wood chips from all the brush. You imagine 30 trees. Most of them were white pine and white oak. The oak went for firewood, the pine went to the mill. So not a lot getting wasted around here. So this backyard, if I get back, we took one tree down and, well, the ice shack got it. Anybody that does any ice fishing, they're sighing a little bit in the background, saying, oh geez, poor ice shack. Well, you compromise. You make it out of foam, it's lightweight, but it's not durable. You make it out of solid wood and it's durable and it's a production to move. So try to strike a balance, but that's neither here nor there. There are the two dogs. There's Miles, he's 14, and Black Lab. And there's Dizzy. Dizzy, hey, hey. He's outside. He's not listening to Dad. He's a 4-year-old Boston Terrier. There's nothing that happens in the neighborhood without these two knowing it. Well, not so much Miles anymore. He's getting a little old, but doesn't hear so well. I think he's got selective hearing. But Dizzy, nothing gets by him, boy. Well, leave you alone for that, Dizzy. So anyways, we've taken a bunch of trees down back here. We're just going to let some light in, and we're going to have some lawn and some more gardens and things back here eventually. My wood pile, it's my tractor. I've got a small lawn out front, so I don't need to mow it with a rider, but I've got this tractor here for just dragging the things around, the trailer and stuff. And it has its idiosyncrasies, but it's handy. I've got some 4-foot bolts of mostly maple, a little bit of oak. Here, this pile fell over. It's kind of embarrassing to have the video now, but I had it stacked between these two trees and it fell over, and so then I cut the tops of the trees off and just left the poles, and then it still fell over. So instead of stacking it flat like that, I've taken to stacking it in what's called a Holzhosen, which is what this is, which is kind of circular, and you put these cross pieces in to kind of keep it to the center. We've used up a bunch of this, it was higher. And then you fill the center of it with wood, and you've seen them, I'm sure, if you Google it or whatever. Holz, Hausen, Holzhausen. And they've got you pile this up to about 6 feet high, and then there's you stack at the very top of it. You start staggering it all into the center, so it kind of makes like a peaked roof on it. And it holds about a cord and a half. Altogether, it's 8 feet wide, 8 feet in diameter, and it doesn't blow over. So I kind of like that setup. Anyways, the oak that we cut down here, I traded for pulling the stumps and getting them out of here. So none of that wood is kicking around, very little of it. I mean, there's little teeny stuff here, and there's a little pile. Let me zoom in here. There's a little teeny pile over there, and there's a couple more piles that are like that are around that I'll use. I don't burn much wood. I've got a small fireplace, like a heatilator metal insert fireplace in the house, and that I burn a little bit, but it's not a very effective way to heat the house. So if I had a wood stove, I'd burn a lot more, but with just that, it's more of just in the cold nights, I come home, take the bite off, that kind of thing. And here's the newest addition here in the last couple of weeks on this side yard. Since we got it fixed, I've got some fruit trees planted. So this one here is a plum tree, and when you plant them, they shock. They take a bit of a hit. They were pretty pot bound when I bought them, but I got them cheap. So I figure I'll nurse them back to health a little bit. I dropped a bunch of leaves, and you can kind of see some of the new growth kind of peeking out, starting to now with a little bit of love and water. These 4 along here I got first. They're going to wander over in the neighbor's yard, and that's okay. And then the deer got to them. I came out one morning, and all the little buds were gone off. All the leaves were gone off of like 2 of these stems. And I said, well, I'll have to spray something on those or put a fence up or something. Well, I thought I had more time than I did. I came home the next day, and they were totally defoliated. And I said, wow, now I got to do something today. So I sprayed them with what they call liquid fence. It's like well, I don't have it right here, but I'd show you. But it's like a organic product. It's like rancid eggs, and it's putrid smelling stuff. But I guess it lasts a month, and it seems to be working because, as you can see, I've got new leaves. This one's pushing nice new leaves here. Wherever it was injured, and those little buggers, they came out and ate all the tips off everything. But I'm watering them up. These are, well, let's see. Let's go through it here. This one here is a Stanley prune. These are all semi-dwarfs. So that's a Stanley prune. I get carried away with my rock work here. Rock's too small for the rock wall out front. I just got silly with those, I suppose. This one's a Cox Orange Pippin apple, which comes from England, but is good for zone 4-5. This one here is not, it's starting to push a little bit of leaves, but this one took it harder. It's starting to push some leaves out now, that first round. This one's a Northern Spy. And then I've got a peach tree. This is a Reliance peach that is quite a bit taller than the other two, but all the same price. They were all $30 a piece from the local garden store. I thought that was pretty good. And then I got 2 more. These are to replace the ones that got eaten, and I've sprayed these right away, and as you can see, the leaves are better on this one. That's the Northern Spy. And this one here is the Cox Pippin. So those are the apple trees. So I've got 4 apple trees, a plum tree, and a peach tree. I'll probably get another, maybe another peach tree here, another plum tree, a couple more trees anyways, I don't know, maybe something different. And then the garden will go here next spring. Those container gardens that are over there will, well, the one in the back where the cherries are reaching for sun, I'm going to pull those out of there, put those over here. And the ones along the fence I'll probably keep, but this I'll get turned up and into a nice formal vegetable garden out here in the front, because now of course it gets nothing but sun. There's one of the big pine trees, like pretty typical of the ones we've taken down. They're between 16 and 26 inches in diameter, DBH, and they're about 70 or 80 feet tall. I've got a couple more to take down, but I've got leach field and power lines to deal with out here, so these are going to stay for the time being. But the boys are getting away, so I'm going to go chase them down, and I'll check in later. Hey, thanks for watching.